So the 2026 World Cup draw takes place this coming Friday. You can catch out all the action and reaction live here on the channel. But which two intercontinental nations will join the illustrious nations and countries around the world at the World Cup? Well, we're going to find out right about now. Let's get into it. That's right, folks. Back once again with another video. Today we take a look at the Intercontinental Playoffs matches. That's right. What have we got here? We've got 6 nations left. Only 2 spots available. Who's going to go through? Well, we're going to give you my early door prediction on that, with, of course, those matches taking place in March. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in a second. Big shout out to the members. Big shout out to the patrons. Big shout out to you guys. Your one-stop shop for World Cup coverage is right here. Again, we'll have the World Cup draw action reaction live this Friday to see what's going to go on, the groups and all that, and of course get my early door gut reaction. Of course, non-stop coverage of the World Cup is here, but right now we are going to take a look at this. Of course, it is a bit of a breakdown of those 2 pathways to the final. We're going to start with 6 nations, 4 of them locking horns in the sort of semi-finals, 2 nations waiting in the finals. And I thought I'll give you my gut instinct as to what I think is going to happen. Of course, these are my early door takes on it. Of course, when we get closer to March, we'll do a more intense breakdown of it. Look at the history, look at the track records between these 2, look at the form heading into this. But what am I talking about? Well, of course, let's showcase you what I'm talking about. We're talking about the 4 nations that are going to be locking horns in these semi-final stages, and these are those. We're going to start with, of course, New Caledonia coming at you out of Oceania. They're going to take CONCACAF representative Jamaica. Jamaica me crazy. Winner of that will go through to a final, of course, to take on an African opponent, DR Congo. We'll showcase you that final in a second. Dropping down a level here, we have got Bolivia coming at you, South America. Of course, they finished, I think, 7th in the old the ranking system there for the World Cups in South America, and they're joined by Suriname, just like Jamaica, coming through the CONCACAF pathway as one of the 3rd place teams or 2nd place teams or whatever it is in the old group stages to be at this thing. And then winner of this will take on Iraq for a place in the final. Again, this is short and sweet, not much to really run into this. We're just going with my gut instinct. Realistically, whoever was going to get New Caledonia was going to be 1 foot already in the World Cup, because I think this is butchers, the bakers, the candlestick makers. It's amateurs. Amateur hour for New Caledonia. I don't even know why they are here, but they are here, and they might cause an upset somehow, somewhere. We saw it in the Club World Cup with Auckland FC getting some points or something. Did they get a win against Benfica or somebody? It was an absolute crazy scene. Hey, it would be a tall order. I think all these games are taking place in Mexico, so correct me if I'm wrong, but realistically, one winner in this, and that's got to be Jamaica. On 5-0 win, it might even be 10-0 win, because look at the talent they have. It's been a bit of a shambles though for the Reggae Boys. Of course, Steve McLaren has parted ways. He's kind of been a bit of a failure when you look at the talent that they've sort of got together for this Jamaican side. They should have qualified automatically, and now they're here at lastminute.com to get themselves through. Meanwhile, let's drop on down to that other American encounter, you could say. It's Bolivia against Suriname. This one's tight. Bolivia at home in their own venue would win this game by a landslide, probably 3-0, something like that. But of course, because of the altitude that they have hosting matches, but this is on level playing field, and you can see that in the World Cup qualifying campaign. At home, Bolivia, that's where they got their points. On the road, they were terrible, absolutely terrible. And I think Suriname, right here, right now, are an unknown entity. They're, of course, gritting their teeth here, trying to, they're hanging on for dear life, and we're a little bit hard done by also not to qualify in that recent pathway qualification round, which of course saw them come here as one of those lucky losers, so to speak. So I'm going to go for an upset here. I'm going to go for Suriname to oust Bolivia just by the 1 goal, not much in it. And then we, of course, set ourselves up with these finals. We have Jamaica taking on DR Congo coming out of Africa. They are the seeded nation in this sort of playoff encounter, and taking on Iraq coming out of Asia, another seeded nation, of course. Again, these matches taking place in Mexico over the span of about 3 or 4 days. And this one's the first one is an absolute cherry. I don't even, DR Congo they're doing some great things here. Of course, they've got the African nations to look forward to as well, which of course we'll have coverage of that on the channel as well. We did a simulation of that competition. We're going to be doing team previews as well very, very soon. But yeah, I think the Reggae Boys with the 5-0 win, yes, they'll be up for this one. But I just, the DR Congo, they are an unknown entity, and they're just playing really good football right now. And of course, are a dark horse not only to qualify for the World Cup, but also to win the AFCON itself. So I'm going with an upset potentially, or maybe maybe not even an upset. It is a seeded nation, DR Congo. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to see DR Congo make it through to the World Cup. Probably their first World Cup since they became DR Congo. They were known as Zaire a long, long time ago. So yeah, it'll be happy days for that nation, of course. It'll be good to have another African representative in this World Cup. And then, of course, we'll go down to Iraq against Suriname. Iraq, again, have been at World Cups in the past. Suriname trying to replicate that of the Curacao, Dutch sort of Dutch islands as they were in the Caribbean. Can we see them make it through? I'm going for it, guys. I'm leaning towards a bit of an upset here. I think Suriname, a lot of people don't know much of them. And I've seen a lot of them in the Gold Cup. I've seen a lot of them in of course, the CONCACAF qualifiers. I just think they might not win by a landslide. I think they're going to be riding their luck, and we might even have to go via penalties for this one. I'm going to go with a 1-1 scoreline to, of course, end the play there, and then it'll go to penalties, and then everything is out the window. And, of course, when you think about the fan base, again, these games are in Mexico. It's a lot easier for Suriname fans from the islands to make that transition to Mexico. Much easier than it is from Iraq folks. So consider that, despite Iraq being a seeded nation, it'll be feeling more like an away game for Iraq and more like a home game for Suriname. So I'm going to go with the upset here. Suriname will take it, and of course will join DR Congo in the World Cup, and of course in 2026. Of course, we'll catch and of course we'll have reaction to that live draw this coming Friday, and of course we'll see potential landing spots for both DR Congo and Suriname should they actually make it through to the World Cup. Again, when we get closer to March, we'll have our real deal predictions. This is just my gut instinct to what's going to happen in the World Cup playoffs coming on. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, and of course let me know your thoughts. Who do you think will go through from these 6 nations with only 2 spots left? Until then, we'll see you soon, whenever that is. We're done.